All right, guys. So we're going to go over some positioning for leg locks, leg entanglements, really, or leg pins. You could think of it like positions like mount, side control, guard, taking the back. Like we have positions defined, and so it's going to make the leg lock game make a lot more sense if you have positions defined. So the one that most people are familiar with is what's called ashigarami. Is the ankle lock position, right? When I go for an ankle lock here, my shin is here in the middle groin, my foot hooking over the leg, and my knees squeeze, and the foot's over. And usually we're laying on the leg here, okay? So we have, this would be called an outside ashi, right? Ashigarami. If my leg is out on this side, it could also be called ashigarami. Some people would call it outside ashigarami. We could have the leg here underneath, or we could have her leg on this side, okay? This is a lot like 50-50. They would call that 50-50. So yeah, she would cross her leg, and I would cross my leg, right? So if the leg's on this side, would be considered 50-50. So we have the ashigarami or single leg X. A lot of times they call it single leg X when the person is standing, but it's the same position once they fall. Ashigarami, okay? So that's the leg on the bottom that I'm attacking a leg lock, and she doesn't really have much per se. She can attack the inside leg, the one that's close to her. The one on the outside, she can't really attack. So a lot of times you'll cross it, or that's why you would hide it inside. Okay. Now, generally we wouldn't put the foot over here with this one bent. I just really don't have much control with that. So 50-50 ends up the leg on the outside, right? So we have those two positions there. Okay. The next one, so if we went, instead of my legs coming over this way, if we switch to 50-50, and then this leg came over, can you see? If this outside leg comes over and I'm triangled underneath, this is the one that they're calling inside senkaku, honey hole, or saddle, right? It has a lot of different names. So it's like I'm triangling her leg. My triangle's on the inside. So that's why inside senkaku meaning triangle. My triangle's on the inside.
Inside Senkaku?
Yeah, S-A-N-K-A-K-U.
Okay. Or you said honey hole?
Honey hole, you might hear saddle, right?
Hey, you're not in any danger? I am in danger, not you.
I'm not in danger, she's in danger. Okay. This is also not reaping because there's no inward pressure on her knee.
It's all on top. It's like on top of the thigh.
Her foot is free, right? Barring that I was to attack, but her knee is it's not getting torqued anywhere.
It doesn't hurt.
Right? Even though my leg comes from the outside and goes over. Okay. 80-20 or outside senkaku would be with my leg kind of here. So would start with like a 50-50, right? And then if I get my knees, so the risk of 50-50 is that both of our knee lines are inside the hips. We could both attack at the same time. I could work a heel hook on her, she could work a heel hook on me. Now, if I drop to my knee out of her triangle, and then I lock mine, now I can attack her, right? I have everything in line with my hips, her knees right here. But my knee is out of her guard, so to speak, right? And then you'll see Lockman Dial start developing where his leg is over here. He feels like it's at risk right there. They start to move over here where it's not at risk. So you can play each of these positions to see what you like, where you like to be, where you like to finish. Some people like the 50-50, some people like the 80-20, some people like Ashigarami, all the different positions. What I like is actually similar to the Senkaku, where this leg comes over in your triangle, but I don't like this foot here. I like it here. There. Because now the heel hook's there. Her leg is in a real bad spot where she wants to roll that way, but she can't because I'm hooked under the knee with my foot. And I like to crisscross over that. So now I lock up this foot as well. So there's a real big tangle in here, right? And this is what I personally call the saddle. This is what I started developing from what I learned at leg locks. I had to learn it on my own, right? Yeah, she's trying all kinds of stuff. She could try to get out, but she's not really going to get out.
Wanna try?
I like that. So to start from the start, we can transition and kind of get a feel for all the positions and kind of just flow back and forth and test yourself on the names of everything. So I come in, my knees bent, and this one, right? So I'm going Ashigarami. Inside Ashigarami, you could call it. And
Is that with a K?
Ashi, A-S-C, I mean A-S-H-I, space, Garami, G-A-R-A-M-I.
Okay.
And then, so inside, right? Then, make my foot over, outside, Ashigarami. And then, we move her leg to here, 50-50, okay? We both have the same thing. Then I take my knee out, 80-20, right? I'm across my leg and I'm across my legs. We have, I throw this over here, pretty much the same, right? Now, if I put this outside leg through and triangle, that's inside Senkaku or honey hole, right? And then I'll reserve the name saddle for when I bring the leg back to you for me. That'll hurt you. And we'll call this one saddle, right? Still inside triangle, but with the foot on the other side.
You've been around there. Sorry, I can't see what.
Yeah,
That
my
doesn't-
foot
that
hurts.
doesn't
It
have-
does hurt my foot.
that doesn't have
My foot hurts.
that part.
Okay.
Okay. This is not a submission at all.
Well, let me tell you something. It hurts my foot.
So she was trying to push my leg with the other leg, so I straighten it and then I can bend it and it actually traps her foot. And then I can still attack this. This is the one that I
Chris.
submit.
Can you bring me a toothpick when you come back?
If that hurts, you can stretch a lot.
No, yeah, my foot's hurt.
So let's go back. So, who remembers what this one was called?
Inside Ashi.
No.
All right. Yes. Yes.
Ashi?
Yep.
That's the Ashigarami?
Inside. Yep. Ashigarami.
That's the whole thing?
Yep. Then this
And
one. Or even that way.
Is that the
Yeah.
Senkaku?
No, not yet.
That's not that one yet?
Outside.
Outside Ashi.
Yep.
Outside Ashi, okay.
And then move the foot, her foot. Now where are we at?
Looks like 50-50, but I can't see.
Yep. 50.
Okay.
Right. Now I drop my knee out here. Now we're at
80.
And you're not triangling there? Triangling your leg?
Now I'm touching my foot to my knee. I can't triangle, or I can throw this over.
Can you, is there any way to spin so that I can see what your grip is? Because I can't see the other side.
Not like that.
We need one of those Japanese refs to pick you up and move you.
Yeah, or they drag us around.
Yeah, sorry. It's just hard to see where you are.
So here, so I can attack a heel hook here, and
Okay.
there, or a triangle, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So this would be 80-20, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now,
Is 80-20 the same thing as outside Senkaku or whatever it is?
no, it's more like a 50-50 with my knee out of the hip line, right? Because for footlocks, see where her knee is? And I can attack all kinds of stuff from here because her knee is in line in my hip line, right? Could be a little better, but right now it's in where my knee is out of her hip line. The only thing in her hip line is my foot. So that's not enough for her to leg lock me. She could twist and turn it. It might bother me. And if I don't do anything, she might be able to hurt me. But it's like an armbar with the elbow not in, right? She could twist and turn it and maybe hurt my wrist and forearm, but she's not gonna break my elbow, right? Same thing with the legs. So I get my knee out. Now I'm safe and I can attack her, okay? So that's why they say 80-20, because now I have most of the advantage, okay?
Brian, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
So in this position here, right? And you're trying to tap in here. Can I get out of here? I seen guys that they're in this position and the other guy grab the foot here. And he goes
I
here.
would finish it much quicker.
You faster, whoever gets it, they're faster.
No, I have the better position, so I would win. Yeah. Right? It's all about position before submission. If I have the better position, I'm gonna win the leg lock battle, right? Even if you're in a position that you could hurt me, unless I'm going for a straight ankle lock and you're going for a heel hook, if you have the better position, I'm gonna win. Now, the leg locks have a hierarchy. So with heel hook being at the top, knee bar and toe hold being second, and ankle lock being at the bottom, right? So if I have a better position, I'm just going for ankle locks and you go for a heel hook, I might not win that, right? That being said, for you to be in a heel hook, you probably have me in the better position, not the other way around, right? So position first before you try to submit somebody. Otherwise, you're going to lose that, right? So then the next one is going to be this outside leg over. I'm going to triangle right here. Remember what that is. This one's the inside Senkaku, inside triangle. Triangling on the inside, right? And we have the, no, it wouldn't be that way though. It would look like this.
Yeah.
Whenever you're pinning and a leg entanglement, you're pinning their hip. So if you try to stay in the base, bring it out. Get out, right? Now if we go over here, try to get out. See how easy? So I wouldn't hold it like this. I need to pin her hip to the mat.
Okay.
And the last one being underneath for me, so I'll hurt you. This one here. Now try to get out of that.
I can't.
Can't, right? So the only thing that changes is instead of her foot being here, I put it on this side, right? And we're calling this one the saddle. No. Inside Senkaku is also the ankle, and they also call that saddle some places. But just to have the differentiated name for the other position, we'll call that one saddle.
And is the saddle just on its own, or does that also have a name, like another name?
So saddles from Sambo, and it's pretty much the inside Senkaku, and they don't care where the foot is. It's still the saddle, from my understanding. Whereas Jiu-Jitsu started calling inside the saddle inside Senkaku or honey hole, but they have the leg on that one side, right, where it's not a reap, because reaping is illegal. And so I decided to call the other side saddle, because that's how I learned it, as a saddle. I never learned it with the foot on the other side. One is going to give you an outside heel hook, and one's going to give you an inside heel hook, right? And jiu-jitsu guys like the inside heel hook a lot. It tends to be more dangerous, right? But I like the outside heel hook with this saddle position because they can't go anywhere, right?
They can't sit up.
They're pinned. If someone puts you in this position, you're locked in. How do you feel when I put you in that last position? It's what?
It's hard.
It's hard. But like, this leg's coming over, right? Her knee's bent. I've reaped the leg and put this under, right? When I throw this over, it's even worse. She can't go anywhere. For me, I'm not very flexible. This position hurts, right? Just being in the position hurts. So that's where I like to be. And then the heel hook, because you're in a position they're not going to get out of, right? Where this one doesn't feel as controlling. The inside heel hook is super dangerous, right? Yeah, right there. It's super exposed heel right there. Yeah. Yeah. They're both dangerous. Yeah. I have to show it.
Yeah, you try. They're gonna see that you, my little
So-
foot strap.
Those are the basic positions, right, that people are working with right now. It was leaning towards with the Danaher videos, where everyone was going into Senkaku is very famous position. 10th Planet coined the term honey hole, and they were working. It's the same position, right? They have some other names for things. I believe they call the last one game over, the one that I like. They call that. They have a name for that as well. So those are the positions, but more recently with Ryan Hall and the 50-50, that is now becoming more popular again. So just like anything, old is new and new is old, and it just keeps rotating around. As people learn the game that everyone's playing, then they learn the counter for what everyone's doing, and then they change it, right? And so it's not that the moves are out of date and don't work anymore. It's not that, and it's not that the old stuff is better, and it's not that the new stuff is better. It just keeps changing, right? Just like I'm sure Alex could tell you, when you first started, let's say after about a year of jiu-jitsu to what you're doing now, you do totally different stuff, right? And I can tell you stuff that I did in the very beginning that was very effective, I hardly ever do anymore, but my game's just as effective. It's just your game changes, right? It's based on what most people are, how they roll and how you're going to counter them, you know, versus what you're interested in at that time, right? Maybe something got boring for you and you just started working other positions, right? So it just keeps changing, and you're going to see that all the time. Stuff that we're doing right now that maybe goes out of, is not as popular. In 5 years, you might see it come back and be like, oh, I worked that when I was a white belt, right? That's nothing new, but everybody's looking at it like, what the heck is that thing, you know?
Yeah.
What is that move you're doing? Because that's just how jiu-jitsu works, you know? There's only so many ways the body can move, right? So it's more about the strategy and how people are going to come up with solutions to the problems that are being presented, right? And as those new answers come out, we need new answers to counter them. And then our games change.
So now with this, would you consider this footlock positions?
Yeah.
Is that like that's what I should put it? That's what I got
Call it
at the
leg
top of it.
locking. Yeah, you can call it leg locks because a lot of times we're messing with the foot, but it can hurt the knee too.
So foot/leg locks.
Yeah, call it leg locks,
Leg locks. Okay.
lower body submissions.
So can you take us through an attack from 50-50?
Yeah, yeah. I'll show you a few. And then, so the principle here is going to be many times, doesn't matter what position you're in, you're going to see a straight ankle lock, you're going to see a toe hold, a knee bar, and a heel hook, right? And those are the more common. That's mainly why I'm showing those as opposed to the calf crushes and the knee decompressions, because the positions, I'm trying to give you tools that you can use across the board, right? And there's only some positions where the calf crushes and stuff present themselves, but the straight ankle lock, the heel hook, the knee bar, and the toe hold are like always there, right, in those positions. So from a 50-50, let's go where, well, we'll just flip back and forth, right? So I need the knee in, right? And I'm gonna triangle. First, I would worry about your defense. So she can attack the bottom leg. So I'm going to cover the bottom leg. I can keep these tight, like I'm leg curling against myself, or I can straighten them out. I can lock them out, okay? It seems like it would be more dangerous, but this entire leg is supporting the bottom leg. So if she was trying to twist, torque it, or do any type of submission, it's gonna have some extra resistance, right? So let's go this way, actually. So she's triangling here. So one thing that I need to do is get rid of this lock, right? So being that Rita has shorter legs, the first thing I usually look for is not going to be there. Like her calf is over her foot. She's actually torquing her own foot right now. When they triangle like that, then I can look for this, which is when they triangle, actually let's spin.
I have very short legs.
You can see me. So, and lean that way. So look, when I triangle, my foot is hanging out, my ankle, my Achilles is hanging out, right? So what she can do is she goes over my leg, under that one, go under my Achilles, and lock your hands. And now kind of work it that way. It shouldn't hurt anymore. So right now, what I feel is she's doing it right. It's her bone, radial bone in my Achilles, and then my shin into my own calf. So it's like dual submission. They call it like a leg lace type submission or ankle lace. And it's painful. It's more of a crushing pain. It's not going to really break anything. Okay? But that's there. People with that. So, but being that she has shorter legs, I'm probably not going to find this, right? It's really hard to dig in there. So what I'm going to opt to do, I'm going to put my hand on her knee, her leg, my other hand down, and like the old plotter, how I move sideways, I'm going to move sideways, and I'm turning in that position, and see the foot came out, right? So my armpit goes over the toes, and then I bring stop moving around, you're going to hurt yourself. My radial bone is under the heel. Okay, so this is the beginnings of a heel hook. This palm goes palm to palm, and then I just turn my upper body this way. Okay, so if they have it locked, which a lot of times they'll do, they're gonna copy what you're doing. Like, oh, and sometimes they know, so they're gonna cover. They don't know, they're probably gonna do what you do. Right? So I put my hand, my other hand's down, and I can scoot away. So I'm not pushing her leg off. It's gonna be too difficult. I'm moving my butt to the side. Now my armpit goes over the foot, and I come under the heel. Straight your legs so you can see. So I go palm to palm, gable grip, and then turning my upper body only, right? So it's like that. So I'm I want to lay back, but it's a little bit of a stretch. It's like I'm going towards my shoulder, right? There. So it's really good heel hooking position. Yeah. Let's see, we got the dummy. Let's see if we can do it. can be difficult. You don't have, oh, he does have heels. Yeah, so that one you lace through.
So we're just pushing this away.
Yeah, and scoot your butt. See how it came out?
Yeah.
Uncrossed. So now your armpit goes over the toes. Yep, and your radial bone from the heel. Yeah. Now you just turn your upper body and look towards the garage door. Yeah.
Okay.
And that actually hurts their knee. They're not going to feel pain until maybe after it pops, right?
Okay.
It's more of a ligament thing. So it's not like their muscles are hurting, right? Where the leg lace, they're feeling it crushing on their muscle, right? On their tendons. So they're going to tap because of pain usually first. This one, they're going to tap because something popped and they're going to freak out, or because they're educated and they know what pressure.
That's going to pop. Yeah.
Yeah, it just gets tight, right? It gets
Yeah.
tight until it's not tight anymore. And that's when it's too late. And that's why it's a more dangerous of a move. And that's why I think people should be educated about it, and not that we don't teach it. I think we need to teach it so people are educated. So that's a good one from 50-50.
Yeah.
So that's scoop. It's kind of like the omoplata, right?
What's that?
Where you're trying to that kind of you kind of scoot, like you're trying to flatten somebody for the omoplata.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of same type of motion.
Yep. And so in class, these are okay to do, but I would do them with people that know about them, right? So until you know that somebody's been taught the move, I wouldn't go do it with them, because what's going to happen is that, just like anything, they try to explode out of your submission, and then they're going to hurt themselves, right? You could try to let go quickly, but sometimes you can't, right? Sometimes you're stuck, right? Your arm's stuck because you're laying on it, or they just rolled, and now you're stuck underneath them and you can't let go, and they continue twisting the wrong way and hurt themselves, right? So it's very important that when you do it to somebody, especially a lower belt, that you're really careful, watch them, see what you think they're going to do to try to get out. And if anything, just let go, right? Just let go, because it's not worth it. Getting the tap isn't worth it, hurting a teammate. But if they know what you're doing, right, you latch on. By the time you latch on, they're either going to escape right away or they're going to tap right away, right? Because they know the severity of the situation, and they're going to go, okay, yeah, you got me, right? Or they're going to just get out right away. And maybe you could have torqued, right? Maybe you could have got the tap, but again, it's not worth it. So you let them do their escape. And that gives you some practice on people who can escape the heel hook. What position do we end up in next, right? So I guess we should talk about escaping the heel hook. Is a good one, right? Any other position before we do that, like with the leg locks? That's good. Okay. So 50-50.
Just want to make sure I have all those written down, though. It's Ashi Garami,
Yep.
50-50.
Yep.
Inside, what is it? Sankaku.
Yep.
And then the outside, Sankaku.
Yes. That's the one
saddle.
that Lachlan Giles started doing. So the ones you're forgetting are 80-20.
Oh, I have 80-20 down also.
80-20 kind of leads to the outside Sankaku, because your triangle is outside of their, it's outside, not inside their legs, right? So that's the difference there. And then with the Ashigarami, there's an outside Ashigarami, which means you just cross your feet on the outside.
Okay, so yeah, I put that inside outside for that one. Yep. And then saddle is the last one.
Saddle would be what the
Sankaku's.
Ashigarami is to the 50-50. The saddle is to the inside sweep.
Inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just moving the foot to the other side. And so that's how we're going to define those positions here at this school. So that you know what we're talking about. All right, so escaping heel hooks or avoiding heel hooks. Okay. So pretty much any of these positions, I could get into a heel hook. The more common that you're going to probably see is the inside Sankaku. which actually we can get into through the back step. So let me review the back step for people that are just watching this video and haven't seen the other videos. That's when I was here in the middle and I stepped backwards to this like backwards half guard. But with the inside Senkaku, what I'd do is I would scoop up her leg and then triangle, right? Now we're here in that position we were talking about, right? So I want to probably pin my knee down, to lock her hip, and I'm here. Okay. Can you do that position? Start standing. Back step. Okay. So the problem here is that my knee is in the hip line here.
You're off the camera, coach.
You can easily put my toes in the armpit and heel hook me or knee bar me. There's a lot of stuff you can do here. So if you think about the opening,
See any of that? Thank
think
you.
about the opening of her leg here. I want my knee pointing that way. And what that does is right here, see my heel is exposed? Careful.
Yeah.
My heel is exposed. So I want the opposite. So if my heel's here, right, and she's going for the heel, go ahead and put it on the front. So going with it would actually put me in a knee bar, right? But going the other way is actually going the wrong way. Because now she wants to take my heel this way, right? But if my body goes that way, I'm doing essentially the same thing. So the defense has to come before she has latched on to the heel, right? So let go. What I want to do is get my heel in her rib. So I turn my knee towards the opening and I put my heel, I leg curl and I put my heel into her ribs, right? So now look for my heel exposure. Try to get like a heel hook. So it's already difficult, right? She's got to fish it out. She's got to get it. She's got to get the exposure. So we call this the running man. So I make that turn. I start building a base on myself. And then it's like I'm a sprinter. Okay. Oh. So she's going for the back step. She's sitting into it. I need to start turning my heel. Yeah. So now I know that she's going for the leg lock, right? At first, it could have been just her trying to pass my guard. So now she's attacking. I turn my knee towards the opening, and I'm leg curling, right? Start building a base. I'm gonna, if I can, I push off of her and get my leg out, right? So it's like getting the heck out of there, basically. Some other options. I can like re-pummel the feet here. So if she's not attacking this, usually you'll tie up the other leg when you're going for the leg locks because this is the one I can use to defend, right? If I can start to pummel, now she doesn't have anything, right? So if I can use my other foot to pummel in here, I can start to take my leg out, right? The triangle here. So if I'm here, I need this triangle. So if she can pummel her foot under, now I've lost that, right? And now she can basically get her leg out. Because what you're trying to create is wedges. I need to squeeze on the leg. I need to make it impossible for her to slide her leg out. If my triangle's not tight, there's plenty of room to take the leg out. So, example again, go back in. So I'm in here, I'm locked tight in the triangle. Try to send this. Try to send this. Put down your hands. hands up, just like we're going
And then my knees are going to my leg. Right.
Okay. So she's saying it hurts too much. So now unlock the.
Yeah, now I
So I can show you. So the inside triangle. Inside triangle. Right here. My knee has to be in. Your knee has to be on the mat.
You know, I
Your
gotta
knee
know.
has to be on the mat.
Mhm.
And you have to triangle inside my legs. It should be here.
There you go.
Okay. So it's very tight. Can't get my leg out. By the time I try, I've already got heel hooked. So I can undo this. Now it's easy to escape, right? So it's all about getting that triangle unlocked, weaving, remember the leg pummeling we were talking about, and getting out. Same thing with a 50-50. From here, we talked about the heel hook, right? So, unlock again. What I need to do on this one to get out, I need to get my foot out of here. And, well, I can build a base. So what I can do is she wants to rock this way. I want to rock this way. If I can get on my side, I can start building a base here. Now, if I keep weight on this foot, she can't heel hook, right? If she knocks me back, then the heel's gonna expose. So I get my weight on my foot, eventually stand, I can hit forward, now it's easy to get there, and I can pass. So that's one way. So I'm leaning to my side, forward, dragging my leg in the base, standing up, getting my weight on the foot. This is locked behind me. I want to hit forward, unlock it, and pass. That's one way.
Is there a name for that, Brian, by chance?
No, if I'm telling you, like in a tournament, I'll usually say, get all your weight on your foot. Like stand up, get all your weight on your foot. That's usually what I'm yelling for that.
So
we
that's
could name it.
more like a stand-up defense?
Yeah, stand up, yeah. Stand up, get weight on your foot, right? We could name it, but that's usually the whole thought process behind it.
Yeah.
So then the other way would be, yeah, she's really locking down, right? I can't go to my left side. I'm gonna pass my foot to the other side. And look, I bend it because I gotta hide my heel and then the knee pointing towards the opening. Now, I'm gonna frame on her knee, and when I'm ready, I don't want the leg curl anymore because it's gonna get in the way. I straighten my leg and I come out. It's right. My knee's out. I'm safe.
He's saying now, if the knee is not inside in the middle, I gotta get the other one, isn't it?
50-50. Over here, she's drinking that way, so I can't lay to my left. So I'm hiding my foot right now. I like to step on my own heel. That's how I hide it. And now I'm gonna pass just my inside foot to the other side, and I'm leg curling against her hip. Okay. Now, just like a standing base, we usually put our hand out. I'm gonna frame on the knee. And now, when I'm ready, I straighten my leg, and I start this dragging into the standing base. My knee's out, and I can stand. That's some escapes from the 50-50. Ashigarami we did yesterday when we did escaping the straight ankle lock, right? You pull
Step
yourself on
over.
top, or you sit on the other side of the heel. There's some options there. Some people don't know how to get out. It still surprises me. The people I've seen that don't know how to get out. People teaching at schools. But anyway, 50-50. The inside Senkaku is the biggest one that you're going to want to know how to get out of. When you start getting to like those submission only tournaments, no gi tournaments, everyone seems to be going for that. You know, people want the easy win, and they're looking at that as the easy win because they see the success of some of these higher level guys. There's ways, it gets really complicated, but there's ways to reverse some of those positions. We really don't have time to go into that right now, but there's ways to turn their position into your position just by changing a few things. One that I always liked, one of the first counters that I learned was like, if we're both ankle locking each other, you'll see that a lot. So like, I got her ankle, but somehow this leg didn't get over and it came out, and then she's trying to ankle lock me, right? You see that sometimes. And so the solution that I found really interesting is that if I put this knee inside her knee, right there, I'll win before she gets me. So rather than it being on the hip, right, and we're both cranking that, and hers is on my hip, right, on my hip, yeah, all I gotta do is slide my knee inside, and I get the bigger leverage. So again, that comes down to position, right? Well, who knows it better, but not who's faster, because you can crank on an ankle lock a long time. On guys that have felt it and they're not afraid of it, they won't tap. But if you can increase your leverage, now they're going to tap before you. If somebody's going to tap, they're going to tap before you because you have the leverage. So that's one.
Now, do you get into that position more often from the 50-50?
The straight ankle lock stuff, where you put your knee in?
Yeah.
That would be like you went for an ankle lock and their response was to try to ankle lock you, right? Then you're both somehow in the same thing. Or yeah, the 50-50 maybe, where you tried to escape it and you went for an ankle lock, and now you're trying to ankle lock him, and you just put your knee on the inside, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe, well, their foot would be on the other side, so I would heel hook that person. But because heel hook's like a king, right? You have your toe hold, and is like the queen, right? Then you have the bishop is like the knee bar, and the pawn is the straight ankle lock, right? So you can beat the straight ankle lock with a knee bar or a toe hold, but if they're going for a toe hold or a knee bar, and you can get the heel hook, you're probably going to win that battle, right? And so they're not all created equal. There's levels, right? And then you can even get more detail where you can say like, oh, the inside heel hook's more dangerous than the outside heel hook. So if you're both going for one of them, the guy with the inside heel hook on the other guy is probably going to beat the guy who's doing the outside one on him, right? Just because the flexibility of the leg, it's that inside heel hook is going to mess you up first.
Right.
So there's a whole other world of it, like the upper body side of things. The lower body side has a bunch of stuff too, you know? So it's like guys who focus just on the leg locks, they're missing out on a whole world of submissions, you know, just like vice versa. The guys that don't focus on the leg locks and only focus on upper body, they're missing out on a whole new world of leg locks and submissions, you know. But triangular and everything is important. And again, like we talked about in the other class, like it doesn't have to be your game, but you need to know how to defend it, right?
Yeah.
So you said heel hooks, then toe.
Heel hook at the top, right?
Right.
Then toe hold, knee bar. They're right around together, but I would say you can get toe holds easier, right? Where a knee bar, unless it's straight already, it's difficult to get, right? But if it's there, it's definitely more successful than a straight ankle lock would be, you know? If you have a knee bar and they're full out and they have an ankle lock ready full out, your knee bar is probably going to win.
Gotcha.
So I was watching a video,
Yeah.
and there was a straight ankle lock, right? But failed. So he took his foot and came inside. I probably can't even see this. So the outer foot inside,
Yeah.
and then swam over for a knee bar. Is that a real thing? So here into here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's real?
Yeah.
Like that's actually okay.
Yeah, you can do that.
I looked at it and I'm like, I don't think that will ever work. I mean, maybe it's just my body doesn't move that way, but
But did the guy win?
No, it's probably an instructional.
yeah, it wasn't a, I forgot, I don't remember who did it. It was like one of those 40-second things you see on Facebook.
You tuck your leg in because it's going to stop your roll if you don't, right? It's going to get in the way.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And then you spin to your knees and then shoot your knee through, right? Because you got to get your hips facing their knee.
And then how do you, where does this end up? Where does this mess end up? Is it here, my knees?
So
You know what I'm saying?
what I would do is I would weave it, yeah. You can triangle it, you can leg curl against their butt, right? But if you weave it, now if he gets out, you still have the chance to 50-50, right?
Right.
Or the saddle, depending on what happens.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess if I miss it, I can sit back up.
Yep, and now you're in 50-50.
Huh, okay.
So you can keep transitioning.
And then just keep doing that over and over again.
Yeah,
Okay, actually, that's kind of a cool little drill, too.
yeah. What I like to do when someone gets out of my straight ankle lock, and Rita's might have shown you this before, because I've seen her teaching it. So I have the ashi here, right? And she gets my foot off. Well, we're going to be too close. She gets the foot off and sits on the other side, right? So what I'll do is she needs to start scooting this way. So I go here. I get in the way, right? So now she sat over my foot, but now my knee's in the way. I'm going to post up. I'm going to step up, and then I can finish.
Is that still the ankle that you had there, or is that the knee?
Still a straight ankle lock. Yeah.
It's still straight ankle?
Yeah. Yeah.
All you're doing is
I'm
bending
keeping the same grip. I didn't have it all locked in the proper way because
Right.
I'm on the field show the whole move. But the whole move, the only thing different from a regular straight ankle is what I'm doing with my lower body. So we're in here. Just imagine I have the ankle lock locked up. She went here, I right away block, right?
You block.
Hold your ankle a little bit just to get you to move the right way. So now my knee's in the way and my weight's on the knee. So she's not going to have a chance to get out of there. I step up, one for leverage, and also to put more weight on the knee. My lock is here, but
So her toes are facing.
Say again.
Her toes are facing your chest.
They're in my armpit, just like the normal.
During your armpit. Okay.
Like
Yep.
that, yeah. And
I
then
see it.
go here, right? And I'm not going to be able to do that if my foot's not posted either.
Right.
On my knees, I'm going to end up falling on my face here. So I step up to allow me to do that bridge.
Gotcha. So can that actually be both? Man, hold on.
The ankle lock?
I don't know why my video keeps going.
Yeah, I don't know. There you are.
Yeah, when you have the ankle, is that also knee barring? Is the knee in your stomach at all or no?
So a knee bar, by definition, is the hyperextension of the knee.
Right.
Now, that being said, that other position, if she moves the wrong way, she's going to hurt her knee, right? So when I'm doing the move here, because I'm not holding the ankle, she's not feeling the pressure that she should feel. So then when she scooted over my foot, and I go here, so here you see her start to move, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because I didn't let go of my ankle out. She's starting to feel that. Okay. Now when I step up, so that's ankle. But before when I didn't have it good, right? This way. I didn't have it good, and I went over. She's still kind of sitting in the same spot. So now her knee is sideways,
It's sideways. Okay, now I see it.
For
Yeah.
knee, right? It's not a knee bar by definition, but
Yeah.
hurt her knee. But in reality, it probably wouldn't happen that way because I would have the ankle lock, and she's going to almost belly down to give into that pressure, right? We're going to move away from the pressure most of the time.
Right. Okay.
Because I'm not locked down, she's not moving
Right. I got
Gotcha. All right.
She likes to get ankle locked.
No, I don't. My foot are very sensitive. Like it's my shoulders, my foot, my knees, everything is sensitive. 41 already.
It's gonna turn us into nasty foot lockers.
Yes. We didn't get into the leg locks. I mean the throws. But we
Dirty
can,
leg locking.
we can do some takedowns. Not necessarily throws, but efficient takedowns, right?
Maybe like grappling master, just a bunch of dirty wrist lockers and
Right.
foot lockers.
Butt scooting garbage.
But did we win?
Guard
Dude.
pulling.
Guard pulling, butt scooting, wrist locking.
Yeah.
Our Lord,